So vision would be, this is like the evangelist. Um, this person it's an important skill to be an evangelist for a cause greater than yourself.
Do you notice a lot of people withhold this evangelistic around door-to-door or around solar, pest control, or whatever you're selling in fear of they maybe just, I don't want to preach it too much because it's not that glamorous. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like they hold back evangelizing this opportunity just in fear of ego of like, I want to negate the fact that it's door to door or it's scary, or what if they say something, oh, you have to knock doors, like, or, have you felt that at all? Like,
yes, and I feel like even more so, people will get lazy and just talk about money. Instead of, there's a lot of places that our reps can go to make money. There's a lot of places that you could go. Why do they want to work for you? And why do they want to work for you long term? Because to build anything great, you have to have people that are loyal and want to be a part of, more than just a job.
And to give you kudos, obviously we worked together for a year now. Your people are like that. And, I notice I work with a lot of leaders. There's a lot of leaders out there that cycle through a lot of people. And it's the first indication I say, they're not leaving your company. They're not leaving, like you as a leader have not given enough value for them to want to stay.
Right.
But interviewing, I've been on your guys' podcast and seen and met a lot of your guys came to the summit and interacted with you guys on the platform or whatever. And you can tell they're bought into you and your vision. Hence, a lot of them have been there for years. And
thank you. That means a lot.
First indicator of a good leader. So kudos.
Thank you. Well, we've got an awesome team, and it really is a team thing. There can never be one individual that makes it happen. It's a shared effort.
So the next one is skills.
Skill. Yeah. Yeah. This one is pretty self-explanatory. This is the ability to, especially in sales. This is you got to be an expert in your craft. You got the word expert, on your shirt here.
It makes me expert. Okay, guys, fun tip.
Yeah.
Make shirts that say expert on them. You're an expert.
Yeah. Make shirts
that say, hey, okay.
This shirt doesn't really make a lot of sense, but
Right.
I just wear it so I can say eyes up here. People are like trying to figure it out. Like eyes up here. Yeah.
I love it.
I get that a lot. People always checking me out. I'm just kidding. So skill. Being an expert. They want to know that you're sharp as a tack. They want to know that you know what you're doing. You have the ability to help them level up. With their skill. This is controlling the conversation. This is de-escalating heated conversations. This is kind of knowing what to say. Especially in sales, but also in conversations with your people.
Yeah. I found that this also can be debilitating. So I'm going to put like an asterisk, and maybe I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. Some people say, once I have this much skill, I now can be a leader. So I don't want people to fall into the trap of there's like this weird destination to skill that they have to reach in order to take on the mantle of leadership.
Gotcha.
Your influence you'll actually have more influence as a leader. You'll be more impactful as a leader as your skill increases. But realize that's a forever journey. And also be open to, you don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like, but the first step is put leadership in motion, in my opinion. But realize like nobody wants to follow you if they don't trust the fact that you have some good nuggets that they're coming to learn from.
Totally.
And so that's where the skill. It's like I've watched it in leadership. Is you have this manager that you're like, I would never. I don't want to go to your training meeting. Like there's nothing I'm learning from you. Why are you in this position? So somebody need to fill a hole. Don't be that guy.
Yes. Yeah, they have to know that you're somebody that can help them level up.
Yep.
And they have to have confidence in that. And I totally agree. You don't have to be top rep in your office. You don't have to be, outsell, everybody and be, a lights out salesperson. But you do need to be, you need to know what you're doing,
Yes.
and you need the product, because this is how they're going to perceive you as competent and as somebody that they can, respect.
Yeah.
And I'll circle back to that after we talk about this too, because I'll tell you, how I applied this, because I kind of developed this 3 years ago or so, and then surveyed and continue to survey all of our sales leadership on these 4 attributes, and it's been super helpful. So we'll dive into that in just a second.
Curious.
Anyway, but so the next one is character. This is, this is who you are when nobody's looking. Your people have to admire you. I don't know how else to say it. You have to be the type of person that people, want to be like. They want you to rub off on. They want to spend more time around you because you're going to help them, become a better person. This is like, it's humility. It's the ability to say sorry if you mess up. I see so many macho leadership, manager guys that are and gals that are, they feel like they have to bite people's heads off. And, if you mess up, say sorry. You actually, it goes a long way. It's doing what you say you're going to do. It's having your personal life in order. I see so many people hit a cap and they have a blind spot. They don't see it. They hit a cap because of who they are. That's saying
your character isn't asking for more. How you're showing up isn't receiving more. I think I 100% agree.
Yeah, and it holds them back. And they've got a drug problem, closet drug problem, or alcohol problem. They don't want to talk to anybody about it. But people know. Or they're showing up late. They walk in late to their own meetings, and it's like, sorry, everybody, I have this. They're making excuses, and it's a blind spot for them. And this is one of the trickier ones to give feedback on, because this one is typically a blind spot. But until they can level up their character, fix their personal lives, fix their financial situation, all these things, you have to have that in order. That's all part of character. Good time management, all that.
And when receiving feedback, in my 2 cents, it's one, it's like they've got to get the feedback. 2, they've got to receive that feedback and then do something about it. And I've noticed, because of the ego, especially in this industry, is people don't accept shots fired at their character, and they get very prideful, and the ego pops in, and they say, well, you just, and defended, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I go, just receive the freaking feedback and say, well, I'm going to do something or not do something with this, but it's feedback. They must be saying it for some odd reason, and then interpret and go with something from there.
Yes.
And it's the biggest stagnant to growth is the inability to take shots fired at character and not flare up and flight and
totally
make fun of or whatever your reaction is. But it's to just say, cool, that's how my character is showing up to these people. What am I going to do about it now?
100%. Well, and it's also recognize that in a leadership position, it's your job to give them feedback.
Yes.
Or in other words, to help them level up. That's what you're doing. And your ability to be able to do that, help them level up, is what's going to keep them there. It's what's going to make them want to be around you. Oftentimes we're too afraid to bring it up because we're going to hurt their feelings, or because they're not going to receive it well, or because they must obviously know it's going to be no good, whatever reason. But this is all part of developing leaders, which is kind of the theme of what we're talking about. Is don't stop training reps, start training leaders, and that's where our time is best spent.
So now you move into the last one, which is
Action.
cool.
Yeah, the most probably the most rare and perhaps the most important one, which is action. This is leading from the front. This, especially in sales leadership, we have a unique job in that we're all offense, no defense.
Yeah, I had a client 2 weeks ago. I'm out in California consulting. Said something. If you're listening to this, I apologize. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but I told it to your face. And I said, he goes, I don't care about expenses. I just spend whatever the frick I want. I just care about selling more deals. I was like, what?
No defense. Yeah.
No defense.
The best defense is a good offense.
So that's where I was going to go. And then he says exactly that quote. He goes, best defense is a good offense. And I was like, true salesman. Let's go.
and guess what? Like if you're CEO, then that can probably be a dangerous mentality. But if you're in a sales leadership position, That's your job. It's revenue. It's the front line.
Yeah.
You hire other awesome people that are going to play defense and make sure that you don't put the company out of business. And you are charging. It's you're a rhinoceros. You're going for it. And you see this mistake. The reason I say it's the most rare is you see so many people that when they get promoted, they want to become a glorified secretary.
I know.
They take off their Nikes and they want to put on fancy shoes and sit in a nice, office. And they don't realize that the most valuable thing is the hard thing, which is out on the doors, out grinding, out, leading from the front. You gain so much respect. And I've gained so much respect for you for doing this. Did that mess up? Because you embody that. You're out there. You don't have to do that, but you're doing it. You're out there. You're grinding. You're still with people out on the doors, and I love that. I think that's that's so important because you could take any excuse, and many people do, and most do, of like, oh, I did that. I'm not going to do that anymore. The problem, the bad news is that it just doesn't work, and I hear it all the time. Well, I told that rep, like, oh, you want what I have, but you don't want to do what I did to get that. Like, I don't do that anymore. It's like, I'm sorry, but when you take the job, you don't have that right. They're going to do what they see you doing. Now they don't care what you did before. They care what you're doing right now, and they're watching it close.
I had to pay my dues.
Yeah.
It doesn't even mean.
Yes, and so anyway, so that's the 4. And